Awesome. Hey, everybody. Hello and welcome to Supernova Sales School, this edition of Supernova Sales School. I'm Shamika Tankerson, the creator of the Authority Selling Method. I'm also international best-selling author of the book, The Power of Permission, How to Set Fire to Your Fears and Sell More. What I want you to know today as you're joining me is I see myself as a doubt slayer, as the secret weapon in my clients' businesses. Why? Because when you work with me, you'll quickly come to understand I take a no excuse approach and I push you to get the results you promised yourself. So my sales calls that I do myself close at about 90%, right? Here's what's really freaking awesome about that and what's so awesome about Supernova Sales School. I'm not doing anything special that any of you couldn't do, that you couldn't do yourself. What I do have, though, is a deep understanding of sales and why people buy, which is, by the way, a skill set. It's something that you learn. It's not something I was born with. So that's completely transferable to you. So understanding sales, understanding why people buy from you, understanding what sales is really about. And also I have this willingness to go get clients, to go get the people I'm meant to serve, the people to whom I'm the answer to prayer. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to that point. No apologies, no excuses, because I'm 100% confident that I'm providing intervention for them. I'm 100% confident that I can save someone's life, that I can change their life, that I can change their business. And it's really that simple. It's simple for me to do. It feels absolutely freaking amazing. And I want the same for you. And that love is basically what Sales School is all about. Each month, I take one piece of sales and I break it down so you can master it. This is a classroom. I don't know what kind of trainings you've attended before, but this is a room for you to soak up knowledge and wisdom and go out into the world and implement it into your business. So grab your pen and paper if you haven't done so already. You might not want to multitask because multitasking is a lie. We can't really multitask. Something has to give way. Take notes. Don't take notes on everything I'm saying. Take notes on what resonates for you. Like, oh, that's an aha moment. Oh, I should implement this. Those are the kind of notes you want to take because you're here to learn, okay? Once you get your learn on, I'm going to issue a challenge for you that you're going to implement over the next 30 days in your business. You're going to report back into the group with your wins, your ahas, your breakthroughs. And then the next time we meet together, we'll follow I'll do another training and you'll have another 30 days to follow up and have a breakthrough. So here's what I want you to know. You don't have to hide. So when I give you the challenge, if you're stuck, you're struggling, that's why I created the group. I didn't create my group. A lot of people have groups for various reasons, for people to hang out in, for people to yell, all kinds of stuff. It's for the people who are going through my trainings, whether they're free or paid, to be supported. That's what the group is for. So get the support because I'm making myself available to you in that way. I'm there to cheer you on, there to encourage you every step of the way, there to snap your shorts when you need your short snap, but you got to let me know you're there. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is getting it together. And I thought, why would I title this? I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't title it Get It Together because people aren't going to understand. I'm used to titling things results-based titles, but what I realize is as I talk to people and as I watch people from afar building their business, it just ain't together. And they're not selling. You're not selling at the level that you desire to sell because you ain't got your stuff together. So I'm going to take you through what I like to call the 5 phases of business growth today. I'm not going to take you through all 5. Depends on who's on the call, how deep we're going to go in each one. And then I'm going to give you some tips, some strategies, and some insight into the foundations that you need in order to build your business to the next level and actually increase your revenue fast. If you've been struggling, especially for those of you who are on this call with me today, if you're here or you're watching this video and you're in that 0 to 5K mark in your business, and you've been there for quite some time and you don't know quite how to get out of it, this is going to support you with that today, okay? So again, grab a pen if you haven't done so. First, let's do this. Let's anchor in some thoughts, okay? Because over the next 30 days, you're gonna be implementing some of these strategies. They're gonna be different. It's going to feel uncomfortable, and I don't want anything getting in the way. I also don't want anything getting in the way right now. You're coming in. I'm midday here in California. Some of you guys are on the East Coast. You're in other countries. You've had your day. Like parts of your day has already happened, and you have things that you're thinking about that are on the forefront of your mind. And believe it or not, Most of the thoughts we have every day, all day long, are programmed to the negative. They're not programmed to the positive. They're not programmed to support our greatest good. We literally automatically go to what could go wrong, what I'm not doing well. And those thoughts, there's nothing you can do about it. They're happening in the background, whether you know it or not. So right now, I want to do a pattern interrupt of those thoughts and get you focused, okay? So again, if you're not in the group in Facebook, you want to go there because that's where we're going to post. The direct line there is powerplayerslive.com. That's where we're going to post these, let's call them affirmations, okay? All right, so the first one that I want you to post, I like leading with this one, so we're just gonna keep it that way. Shoot. You know what, guys? I need to go grab a phone charger. So sorry about that. I'm gonna pause the video for a second, and then I'm gonna go grab this charger. All right, so the first one that we're gonna record here, and if you're watching the replay, you're probably like, what the heck just happened? Here's what I'm gonna record. I want you guys to post. I want you to post, I'm ready. Shamika, I'm ready. And we're going to use the hashtag Supernova Sales School. So Shamika, I'm ready is the first one. I've got it open. Waiting on you guys. Let me see, am I inside? I am now. All right, Shamika, I'm ready. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. Shamika, I'm ready. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. Joe, I see you. Awesome. Come on, guys. Get with the program. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. All right. Are you guys coming? I think my internet, there you guys are. I see you, Courtney. Awesome. All right. Super cool. Thank you for turning your camera on, Denise. I love it. I love it. All right, here's the next one. I'm ready. I'm open to receiving. So you can extend this one, but you need to signal to the world, the universe, to your body, your mind, your spirit, that I am open. There is space for the knowledge that you're going to get right now, for the wisdom that you're going to be received, whatever it is that I'm supposed to learn, the lessons, the learning, my ahas, I'm open to receiving. I'm open to receiving. I am open to receiving. And you can extend it if you want to with something else. I'm open to receiving. All that is for me today. I'm open to receiving the lessons for myself today. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. So this is just a signal. I'm ready. I'm preparing a space for the wisdom. I am open to receiving. Thank you guys for continuing to post. Okay, so here is the next one. I have everything I need to create massive sales revenue in my business. I have everything I need to create massive sales and revenue in my business. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. I talk to people all the time and they're like, but I got to do the this and the that. I'm like, no, let's do this. Let's just go get clients. And guess what they do? They go get clients. But if you continually tell yourself that you're lacking something that doesn't allow you to get clients at a certain level or to charge a certain amount or to have clients at all because you're still preparing the space, you are basically projecting that, and that's what you're going to get. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I have everything that I need to create massive sales and revenue in my business. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. I have 3 more. I love this one because this one actually comes to me because it's part of my daily affirmations. And so there are times where it'll come to my mind. It's actually becoming part of my conscious mind. And it's, I make money like magic. I make money like magic. I make money like magic. Like, money is just energy. It's an energetic exchange. And most of you sell services. So you sell thin air. You basically make up something, you call it a program, and you sell it to people, and you deliver the wisdom and the knowledge that you have inside of you, or you support people step by step along the way. It's magical. You can do it at any moment. At one moment, you could be at 0. The next moment, you could be at $5,000 in your bank account, just like that. You don't have to whittle anything, paint anything. There's nothing you have to do. So I make money like magic is one of my favorites. Thank you guys for continuing to post. All right, here's the next one. I am able to handle large sums of money. I am able to handle large sums of money. I am able to handle large sums of money. We don't think about it that way, but a lot of our subconscious is telling us, oh, that's too much money. You don't want to have that much money in your bank account. Ooh, don't charge people that much. I'm able to handle it. I have the capacity to receive large sums of money. Large sums, larger than my brain can even fathom right now. There's a container for it. There's space for it. I'm able to handle it. I have the capacity to receive large sums of money. Hashtag Supernova Sales School. Thank you guys for continuing to post. Here is the last one, and we're going to jump into the content for today. The last one. This one I think is super powerful. I am wealthy right now. Right now, I'm wealthy. It wasn't until I started to realize the abundance of wealth that already surrounded me, like coming to the realization. And it was hard at first. I would make a list of what I was grateful for, or what I had around me that made me feel wealthy. And the first few days that I tried to do it, my list was like 3 things on the list. And then after I started to make it a habit, I can do pages of the wealth that surrounds me. I'm aware of it. Sometimes we're unaware of the wealth and the abundance that's already surrounding us. And I'm not saying like, be happy that you have a pair of shoes because there's people that don't have shoes. That's not what I mean. I mean, literally, you have wealth and abundance surrounding you. And because you have blinders on, or because you're so focused on the problem or the lack, you literally miss opportunities that are right in front of you. And sometimes because of fear. So begin to declare over the next 30 days, what was the one I said? I was going to say I have abundance all around me. That's not it. I am wealthy right now. I am wealthy right now. Right now, I am wealthy. One of the things I'm giggling about right now inside of myself is I remember a time in my life where making mistakes and doing things would like totally throw me off because I wanted to look good. I wanted to look like I had my stuff together. And I think in my business, I've become the poster child for the fact that you can just do stuff and it could be a little bit janky and messed up, and it could still be extraordinarily amazing and actually change people's lives. If you've ever watched my brand story video, you might have not noticed it, but in my video, there is a huge clump of my hair stuff in the back of my head. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, we got to take that out. And then I said, you know what? No, this is my story. There's a huge clump. So go back and watch it. Now you'll see it. You'll be like, oh my gosh, she does have a huge white spot of hair stuff just sitting in the back of her hair. It's right there as soon as the video opens up for the first time, and I just don't change it. So I hope that encourages you guys. We're going to get started. Thank you guys for posting. Andrea, I just saw your question about posting inside of Facebook, but yeah, that's where we post. Are you guys ready to jump in? Okay. So I want to start with the 5 phases of business, and I want to tell you what they are. And they are based on, these 5 phases are actually based on your revenue that you're generating. That's how you know where you are. And I want to know who's on here with me live so I know where to focus. So inside of the chat in here, inside of Zoom, I want you guys to tell me what level you are at. So I'm going to pull it up. I'll share the screen of it a little bit later on. Right now, I'm just going to look at it myself. So here are the levels. Level 1, you're at level 1 if you're at $0 to $4,000 a month. That's level 1. And that's your startup or your foundation. That's level 1. So if you're at level 1, go ahead and type level 1. You're at level 2 if you are $4,000 to $12,000 a month. That's level 2. Somebody is actually calling me in Facebook Messenger right now. I'm like, doesn't everybody know I'm doing Supernova Sales School right now? All right. And there's no way for me to turn that off. Okay. So you're at level 2. Was I at level 2 or level 3? Where was I, guys? 2 or 3? 2? Okay. Level 2 is $4,000 to $12,000 a month. You're at level 3 if you're at $12,000 to $25,000 per month. You're at level 4 if you're at $300,000 to $1 million. And you're at level 5 if you're $1 million to $10 million. Okay, I don't expect anybody to be here with me live that's at 4 or 5. Let's see. So I'm gonna look and see, and I'm expecting everybody to tell me level, does everybody have it? Level 1, 2, or 3? Okay, 1s, 2s, 1s. Okay. 1s. Okay, so mostly 1s. So I'll probably go through 1 and 2 in detail, mostly 1 in detail. I'll hit a bit of 2 to make sure. So in each level, there are 4 spaces that you want to be focused on in your business. So write these down, and then actually, let me just go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see it. Screen share. All right, can you guys see that? Yes, okay. Let's go down to level 1. So in every level, you've got personal growth. So where you need to be growing yourself. This is mindset stuff, things that could be coming up for you, how you want to support yourself in that way. You've got marketing and systems, and then you have business systems, and then you have sales skills. Those are the 4 areas in each level. So what happens oftentimes is people begin to build their businesses, but they're all over the place, like working on websites before they've put the foundation down, trying to put a funnel together, trying to start email marketing and all kinds of things with no list, no engagement, no one's paying attention to them. And it gets frustrating and you get stuck, okay? So if you can pare down that stuff and really start to focus on what matters in your business for you right now to create that foundation for yourself, when it's time to add the other things, you will actually watch your revenue accelerate faster, okay? So I'm really gonna spend time on level 1. And I'm going to point out a few things at level 1 that may not make a lot of you feel good because you've been watching lots of trainings and people have been telling you all this stuff to do. But I promise you, if you take a step back and start to implement some of these things in this way, you'll start to make more money. Okay. So the first thing I want to point out, again, you're here, this is your startup foundation. If you're at level 1, you're basically making $0 a month or $4,000 a month. Somewhere between $0 to $4,000 a month. At this level, the fastest way for you to make sure that your revenue is consistently growing is actually to do one-on-one work. I know group programs are all the rage, but like you're trying to put people in the group and you're frustrated because, okay, I got 2 people, I got 3 people. And then you're like, what am I supposed to do? And then you get embarrassed and then you try to kill it. You're like, I don't want to do the group. And it just energetically begins to drain you. Let me see what's happening in chat. What if you fluctuate between 1 and 2? So it's not really a fluctuation between 1 and 2. Probably your 2 months, it's not consistent. So wherever you're consistently at month to month, that's the level I want you to choose. So I used to do that too. I would have $0 months, $4,000 months, then I'd have like a $15,000 month and then nothing, right? And I'm talking cash, guys. I'm not talking sales. Right? This is cash in the bank, not sales. So you want to start working with clients one-to-one at this level, not really trying to create a group program. Okay. So in the personal growth area, I'm going to go through each one of these because I really want you to see it. If you're part of Sales School and a member of Sales School, this will actually be uploaded with the video. So you'll be able to get your hands on it and pin it by your desk so that you can focus on what you need to focus on. But at this level, what you truly want to be doing is honoring your desires, right? This is your personal growth level. So whatever you want, be true to that. If you don't want to work all hours of the day, 60 hours a week, don't do that. Be truthful about what you desire to have in your business. If you don't want a $10,000 a month business, then don't say that you want it because everybody else is saying that they have it, right? If you don't want $1 million business, you don't have to go for that. You know, I'm practically fine with being at the $500,000 mark. I don't have to have $1 million business. It's not like this big goal for me. And sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy. And there was a time in my life where I felt like, well, that means I've arrived if I have $1 million business, and I would say it all the time, but just honor your desires. Don't let people push their desires on you. Surround yourself with a community of people who stretch you. At this level, it is so easy to put your head down and just figure you're plowing away with it on your own, and you really think you're going to figure it out. I promise you that is a lie. Surround yourself with a community of people who will stretch you. They'll stretch what you believe. They'll stretch what you believe is possible for you. They'll stretch like your realm of possibility. They believe in you. They encourage you. You want to make sure that you have community at this level. Okay. Uncover your money beliefs. One of the biggest places that I see people getting stuck is because of what they think about money. People can't afford a certain amount. I have to do payment plans that are, this was me. My payment plans were never more than like $500 a month. And I thought I was pushing it, trying to do maybe 700, because I had a firm belief that people wouldn't pay that amount if it was more than a car note or close to a car note. And I'd heard that objection often. When I was able to do the work on that and release that story around that, I have payment plans that are $3,000 a month, and people pay them, or they just pay in full. But that kept me stuck at a lower level because I was making up this story based on my own experiences and mirroring that to other people. Now, I'm not ready to charge at a certain amount. Things that you think about rich people. Rich people are bad. When people have a lot of money, they treat people bad. They think they're all that. You'll never become one of those people, or you'll never become a person with money if you believe people with money behave in a negative way, because you don't want to be that. So you have to work on those stories, acknowledge that they exist, and then release them. So you want to spend time in this area when you're at this level, because it's likely what's keeping you there. Be aware of where you tell yourself no instead of yes. Are you always looking for what could possibly go wrong when you get ready to make a decision to jump forward in your business? Or that's not possible for me. I'm not ready yet. Instead of just saying, yes, I desire this. Yes, I'm going for it. Yes, I can have it. Start to become very aware of where you stop yourself without even knowing it. And then the final one, when it comes to this courage area or personal growth, is make the decision to act in spite of fear. You're going to be scared. And at this level, it's very easy to take that fear as a sign that you shouldn't move forward, because you haven't really understood, you haven't taken that many risks yet at this level. And so what you don't understand is that it always feels uncomfortable when you take the leap. It always does. You're just like, okay, I'm going to do it. So really get to the space where you're like, you know what? I know it feels uneasy for me, but I'm willing to take this risk. I'm willing to jump. I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to live stream when I'm scared the heck of doing it, right? I'm willing to go speak on a stage when I feel like, who am I to be able to do that? You got to be able to act despite the fear, or else you will continue to be stuck because you're waiting for the comfortable thing to happen. And this is what keeps a lot of you stuck behind your computer, working on your sales pages, hiding behind your sales pages, hiding behind, let me make my program. You have all 3, 4, 5 of your programs mapped out, logos. You've got the wording, you've got the modules all done, and you've yet to sell one. It's fear. It's not you preparing. That desire to be prepared, or that rationalization of preparation, is just your fear masquerading as those high standards. What if you just went and sold it? But I don't know how. It's all fear. So act despite fear. Okay, the marketing systems you want to be focused on. So this is what I'm telling you. If it's not in this level, then don't focus on it. Okay, your choice, but I'm telling you from experience. Okay, you want to have about 2 programs. You could have 3 at this level, but at least 2 programs that you can offer to people. The sales conversation that you do have with people, instead of just calling it a sales call, which it is a call, I would put a title to it. So I think I have a client that has a clarity and courage session. It's her sales call, but it's branded. So give it a branded name that has to do with your program or the results that you get for people. Because when you present it in that way for people, that it's a session that they get with you, it's a lot easier to get people to the call, and then you can transition the call if there's a fit to an offer. So give your sales call a title and not a consultation. That's not a title. Free consultation is not a title. Everybody with me? Free consultation is not a title. Use level 1 lead generations to invite prospects into sales conversation. Okay, this is where you guys are going to want to just like, you know, stone me and shun me and all of that stuff. Level 1 lead generation is grassroots. It's organic. Reach out to people. You're like, but I put a post and said, if anybody wants to jump on the call, let me know, but nobody's done it. Go get the people you want to work with. Go in their inbox and say, hey, I'm working on this thing. I think it will be a good fit for you. Are you open to having a conversation about it? It works like magic. You can go from having no sales conversations to tons of sales conversations. So grassroots lead generation. This is not the automated stuff. This is you being the automation. You message people, you call people, you network, you get from behind your computer and go to a live event where there's actual people who are your ideal clients that you could have conversations with. Level 1. I would even possibly add, you know, speaking into this. Establish your initial investment levels for your programs. That's the next thing. Okay. So whatever your investment levels for your programs are, establish what they are along with the payments. Put it down in writing so that you're not fluctuating every time you get on the phone with somebody and you're afraid, right? If they're a corporation, they're this much. If they're a nonprofit, they're this much. Because you're making up stories in your head about who has money and who doesn't and to what level. Your work is just your work. So write down what those initial levels are. Like literally for your marketing systems, this is it. It's grassroots marketing. So yeah, you can post on social media, but what you really probably want to be doing is looking to see who's engaging with your post and then reaching out to those people. And I know getting out and networking sounds, I really don't want to do that. I want to learn how to build this business from this way. You can, but if you want to do it faster, you're going to accelerate know, like, trust in a room full of people, especially if you know exactly what to say that gets people like, oh, wow, how do you do that? Let me talk to you. And most people who market online are better at marketing and talking about marketing than people who market offline. So you're going to stand out in the room full of brick and mortar business owners because we only have so many words and characters we can use when we're online marketing, right? When you go say those same things at a networking event or a live event that you're attending for 3 days, you stand out and people want to get to know you and they want to take that next step and they're all for signing up for a session with you. The last thing that you want to do in your marketing is begin to collect and use testimonials. Become a collector of testimonials at this level by any means necessary, so that you can begin to utilize them in your marketing. That's it. It's grassroots marketing. And again, you guys can ask questions or open up for questions later when I open up for questions later about this, but this is where you should be simplified. So all of you who are on here who are at this level and not making money and you've got funnels and web pages and you're like, none of it's working because you're focused on the wrong thing right now. This is how you build that foundation. Get those clients in so that you're actually making $4,000 a month, and then you can move to the level where it's time to create the web pages and do the funnels and all the simple funnel and all of that stuff. Grassroots marketing. Be consistent with it. In your business systems, what you want to be doing, accept payments any way you possibly can, right? Take checks if you need to take checks, cash if you can get cash from people, until you're ready to do credit cards. Most people at this level, they're probably using PayPal, or you possibly could be using Stripe. You possibly could be using Stripe, because I think you could get that without having to pay a fee every single month. The worst thing ever is to have a bunch of systems where you have to pay for them and you don't have any money coming in. So PayPal, Stripe, these are not my best go-to for collecting payments, but this gets you going, because what will happen is you will repel clients because you can't figure out how you're going to collect their money. You're like, shoot, I can't take American Express. The moment I was able to take American Express, I had 3 clients pay me in full using an American Express card, back to back. It's amazing what happens when you actually provide the container, when you have the capacity to receive. You're thinking, oh, nobody ever wants to pay with American Express, because you can't take it. Right? Here's the next thing you want to have in business systems, and this goes for everybody. Block your calendar. Don't do everything every day. Like, oh, you want to talk tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow. You want an intensive? Okay, I could do that on Saturday. Okay, I have a sales call before the intensive, 30 minutes before, and then I have an intensive for 3 hours. No. Block your schedule. Block off your coaching days. So I only coach on Mondays and Thursdays. Right? My business day is Friday. That's where I take care of my financials and make sure my legal stuff is in order and anything else I need to do, pay people, whatever you need to do, right? Block your schedule. It will free your life. You won't feel like you're constantly working. And what happens is, if you're not making the revenue you want, somehow you make this internal contract that if I work more or put more time into it, somehow it's going to manifest more clients. My question to you is, how's that working out for you? You working like, oh, my kids are asleep, let me just jump up and do a couple of things. It's not working. Block your schedule. And if you don't, let's say it's your business day and you have no more business to do after 30 minutes. It's a free day. Enjoy your life. Block your schedule and stick to it. Have marketing days, have sales call days, have coaching days if you're coaching or mentoring. It's okay if it ends up being a free day. Allow yourself that time to breathe in your business. When you're stressed, it's hard to make money. If all you're focusing on is the lack, it's hard to make money. Allow yourself that room to breathe. Okay? Inside of Supernova Sales School and also inside of the group. So if you're not a member, you have access to this. I think you do. There is a system that I put together for welcoming people to a sales call. That needs to be running like a well-oiled machine for you. So you should have an application process put together. And then right after that application process, whenever anyone applies, there should be a welcome email that you send out to them that actually begins selling for you before they ever get on the phone with you. And I think it's sales call automation process might be what it's called. It should be in there. So you want to make sure you have that email done, and whatever they're going to get, you're going to ask them to do a couple of things, right? It's an email that's called prepping for your session with me. It's about starting to overcome some of the objections, positioning you as somebody who's got their stuff together, establishing your credibility, showing them like maybe even some results that you've gotten for people. That happens in that email well before the conversation, so that you don't get to the end, offer them something, and they're like, well, who have you worked with before? Can you send me something? You've already sent them something. And then the last thing, I think Jessica's on the call. Jessica's an attorney. Make sure you have liability insurance. You're a business owner, right? Ah, there she is. Maybe I'll let you talk about that a little bit later. She's like, don't forget legal. She's already typing it. Make sure you have quality liability insurance. So talk to an attorney. Like, we start businesses and we don't have ourselves protected in so many ways. These are the business systems that you want to make sure you have in place. Everything else, that's next, right? It's next. All right, we're moving on to sales skills. Sales skills. I think everybody that's at level 2 is already a client. I'm going to look back and see. Let me look and see. If you are, I'm not going to go through level 2. Okay, maybe not. All right. So in sales skills, so there's so many things people are teaching you, like branding and all of this other stuff. You're going and buying all of these courses on things that don't matter when you don't have clients, right? What you want to focus on right now, sales is the #1 skill set you must have in your business. If you can't sell, it doesn't matter how many leads you generate from your funnels or from your webinars or from your live streaming or from your branding. You won't be able to close the clients. You will have calls and everybody's going to tell you they can't afford it. Everybody's going to tell you not right now. Everybody's going to tell you this isn't a high priority, or whatever the excuses that you get from people, because you haven't mastered the skill set. Okay. So you want to practice your sales skills. Here are the sales skills in this area that you want to focus on. Okay. You want to focus on having the actual sales process of closing the deal, not winging it. So you want to have a framework for closing sales conversations, or for closing sales, a framework for the conversation that takes people from beginning to end. It doesn't have to be a script, but just a framework so that every call runs the same amount of time and runs the same way. This is what you must begin master. Practice with your friends. Jump on the call with anybody. This is not the point where you want to be like, oh no, I don't only talk to people who are highly qualified. You need to practice. So you may know that at the end, you're not going to give them an offer, and you all have access to my framework inside of the community. If you don't have it, you can message me and I'll send you the link, or I'll post it today sometime. But my iServe selling conversation framework, it's free. You have access to it. Start to utilize that and practice being able to fluidly flow in it without having to look at it. This is what you should be mastering, because you jumping on the phone and winging it is what's costing you sales. Hoping that some way, if you talk enough, or if you tell them enough about who you are and what you do, and audition for them enough and tap dance enough, that they're going to say yes and buy. Okay, so have a framework, one that works. You can have a framework. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work, right? You're like, oh, well, I've been using XYZ that I found over here. If it doesn't work, then find one that works for you. Okay. The second part of the sales skills that you want to have is you need to handle money worries. You need to know what to say in every instance. When a money objection comes up, you should know step by step how that should be handled. And for the most part, it's always handled the same way. You guys know my philosophy. It's partner with your prospects through the objections. It's a partnership. How can I help support get you past whatever this obstacle is? Because it's a yes, right? You need to know how to do that. That's what you want to practice. Not all the objections in the world. At this stage, the money one is the one that comes up the most, because you're lacking money and revenue in yours. And so a lot of that inside mindset stuff starts to seep through into your interactions with people you have on the phone. It's a mirror. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have money, then people are like, oh my gosh, I don't have money. Right? So money objections is what you want to get very, very versed at handling. Learn how to establish and connect rapport with your prospects. Not this weirded out, oh, hey, cool, how's the weather where you live, right? A sales conversation is literally you guiding someone through a decision. And the reason why they will allow you to do that or listen to what you offer them as a program or a way to solve their problem is because they trust you. And the fastest way to establish trust is to develop common ground. You have to learn how to find that common ground with every person you get on the phone with. It's an art form. Practice it. Do some research on your clients before you get on the phone with them. Practice doing that. Practice getting to that level of trust that when you say, you know what, I think this is the way you should go, they're like, okay, yes, I'm all in because I need that level of support. As opposed to, you know, I'm not quite sure right now. Can you send me something so I can look at it and talk to my husband? The trust has to be there. And the number one way to do that is common ground. But the second thing you want to be aware of is your walls. When you're pretending like you're further ahead than you are, and you have this wall up because you don't want to be found out, you're feeling like a fraud, you're probably not going to close very many sales because they're not seeing the real you. There's no connection there. Okay. In sales, you also want to be practicing asking questions. Sales conversation is not a place for you to talk. It's a place for you to listen. So what are the questions that I ask that help facilitate the decision? Again, my framework is available. There's some questions in there for you to look at, but you want to get very good and very skilled at asking questions so that you get the information you need to decide whether or not this person is a good fit for you, as well as they're getting the information they need to see that, you know what, this is a great next step for me. Okay. So you're shifting from giving information like, here's my program, here's what's in it. I work with a lot of people. I've worked with this person before. This person had that result. This is what most people do. What do you need? And then they start trying to diagnose what's needed for the person. And then they make the offer based on this diagnostic. That's not what a sales conversation is. It is actually getting people to a point of decision. But the way you get them to the point of decision is you're activating belief. The moment they believe that they can have it, that it's possible for them, they will buy. If they no longer believe, if they're not in a place of believing they can have it, they won't buy. That's your job, to get them to that space. So we don't want these calls to just be you giving information about your program. They need to be powerful, transformational experiences for people where they're like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting on this. No one's ever asked me that before. That's a great question. I hadn't thought about it. Got it? So 4 areas, I'm not going to go through it for level 2 because that took quite a bit of time, but the 4 levels, you got to be focused on your own personal growth. The more you grow, the more this number will grow. You be the same you all year long, you're going to have the same result all year long. Your marketing systems, your business systems, and your sales skills. Super important. Everything else you're doing, stop it. At this level, this is it. This is all it takes to get you from level 1 to level 2. Quite simply, grassroots lead generation. Go get people, have sales conversations with them, sell them into your programs, get all this other stuff aligned, have sales conversations, practice, have a framework. Okay? All right, so I have some really powerful stuff I want to share with you right now that's going to align this for you. Okay? Did I miss a message? Okay. That's going to align this for you. So where my notes go? And then we'll open up for Q&A. And I know for some of you guys, you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, I get some messages that this is amazing. It's, you know, a light bulb moment is going off. That's great. But I'm actually trying to free you from the busyness that's costing you right now. Okay. So I found out where you are. So I want to talk a little bit about business models in itself. Okay. So now that you know what you need to be focusing on to actually start making money in your business, and you can free yourself up from just focusing on things that don't matter for you right now. Right? You're trying to make your stuff look cute and figure out what color it should be and all of these things that aren't going to attract you clients. and you're making up stuff. Like, you can post all day long. If nobody sees it, it doesn't matter. So grassroots, it's where you go get people. You go reach out to the people that you desire to work with, invite them to have a conversation with you. You go network, you go speak, you do organic lead generation. Okay. So here's the deal about business models. A lot of your business models are broken. So I just said, if you're 0 to 4,000, to get to that $4,000 a month mark, you want to be focused on one-on-one work, right? That's one of the things you want to be doing. You also want to do what works for you, right? You got to know how you truly serve best, not following other people and how they serve. And the way that you do that, it's unique to you. It could be a hybrid of what somebody else is doing, or it could look exactly like what somebody else is doing. But when we look at what other people are doing well, most of the time you're looking at somebody who has, 150,000 people on their email list, or, 10,000 people on their email list, and you're trying to model your business after them. Here's what you're missing. They know their tribe. And maybe what they're doing is something they started 2 years ago, and they've acclimated their tribe to receiving it in that way. So they know that it's going to sell well using that method. And you're like, man, I tried to do the same thing and it just flopped. Nobody was even listening to me. This is why. Because if you're at 6 figures, for instance, or maybe heck, even below 6 figures, and you're looking at somebody who is further along, and you're thinking, if I emulate exactly what they're doing on their live stream, or if I emulate exactly what they're doing on their webinar, or if I emulate, give the same exact speech they give on stage, I'm going to sell a lot and make a crap ton of money. But the thing that you don't realize is what's behind that model. You don't see what's behind the scenes, what's under the hood. Heck, they might not even be a good speaker on stage, but maybe they have a huge email list, or they have a sales team behind them, or a great marketing team behind them. And so that's where their money is really coming from, and you don't recognize that. Here's a good example of how to get yourself out of that. I've done high dollar sales for a long time. And in fact, my daughter actually does high-end retail sales. And this is always really funny because we talk about this all the time. Growing up, we would always think, whoever the person is who has really expensive shoes, they must be the person who has all the money, because look at them. They're dressed to the nines. They have all the monies, right? And here's the deal. I've been sitting in rooms with people who look freaking homeless, and they're the ones who have the most cash. So here's the lesson in this. Don't let it fool you. Don't let what it looks like on the outside fool you. Don't let old school fool you. Don't model your business after what you see, quote unquote, gurus doing. You got to look at your business for what works for you, because what you'll find is when you do that, when you really find your zone of power and you begin to operate your business in that way instead of the way they told you to. They told me to do a funnel. They told me to do, a challenge every 2 months. They told me to do this and that. I've been doing it, but I haven't gotten the revenue. You've got to find your zone of power. Just be honest. And it's okay if it doesn't look like theirs, because it's that stuff that actually will work for you and work well because you're in flow. It works really well for you, but it may not work well for them. So the business model, it matters. And there's so many different ways you can have a business model. So I'm not going to, today try to map out all of the business models, but I want to give you just a few things that you want to do that you might want to look at in your business that may help and support you into actually getting clients. One of the things that I hear people talking about, and this is the old way of doing things, is like in the beginning, you don't want to give everything away. You want to hold a carrot back so that when they buy, you have something to sell to them. And what happens is your content ends up being crap. Okay? Especially for most of you, because people who are attracted to me are givers by nature. You're a giver by nature. What I don't want you to give away is your time. Your time is not for free. That's not replenishable. Once you give it, you can never give it back. But information is Googleable. Information is Googleable. So here's what I'm going to tell you that nobody else is going to say. Give until it freaks you the heck out. If you notice, my free content is badass. If you notice, I give good stuff for free because I know it's an investment to work with me. No matter which way you decide to work with me from top to bottom, it's at least a 4-figure investment. And so for me to be okay with how I show up in the world, I made the decision to give absolutely freaking amazing content for free, to create a container for people who were going through my free stuff. Because here's what I'm going to promise you. It's going to come back 1,000 times more. It always, always will. Now, remember what I said. I'm not talking about your time, so don't go out there doing free sessions talking about Shamika said, because I ain't say that. I did not say that. Okay? But give until it freaks you out. It's always going to come back exponentially. I was having this conversation with my coach the other day, and I just really feel like I'm aligned with this, so I'm probably going to roll that way anyway, because when I was rolling that way, everything was amazing and it flowed. You see people talking about launches and all of this stuff, and they work really hard for a certain period of time, and then, they're all stressed out. I am a fan of rolling enrollment. That means consistently you have a program that you can continually enroll people into. These are just some forms of business models that you could be looking at, where you have your program, and no matter when people come in, they just come in where they come in continually, and you can just live your life. It's not this window of hardcore marketing or this window of serving these clients and then having to, run like the Dickens to get X amount of people, back into them by a certain date. The other thing that I want you guys to understand when it comes to your business model, and I'm bringing this up because I know that my clients who are attracted to me, you're you're just deeply spiritual, right? And so there's a little bit of woo to the work that you do. And if you're running from it, trying to hide it or separate it, it probably should be a part of the model that you use some way, somehow. You don't have to have a whole module on it, or now start talking about, you don't have to pray on your live streams. You don't have to do anything like that, but realize that that's a lot of your power, and your attraction factor is probably tied up into that. And when you try to separate it, you look like a talking bobblehead. You're like just on the strategy, just on the how to do, and they're missing a deeper element of you, so they're not connecting. Okay? They're not connecting. So check your business model and make sure you have a model that supports you in your zone of power, that fuels you and doesn't drain you, because you won't take on more clients. Like, I've seen people start to get clients, and then because the delivery model doesn't work well for them, they're tired, stressed out, and then the clients stop coming in, and they think it's something else that they're doing, but literally you basically are sending a signal, I can't handle any more clients, I'm tired. And so then you don't bring on more clients. So make sure it doesn't drain you, that it fuels you, that it supports your zone of power, and that you're not gonna work yourself to the bone trying to deliver in that way. So whatever that is for you, like me, I love live events and being in person. I also like to see people. So a lot of the way that I deliver is by video and in person. It's a hybrid, right? Because I know that's going to allow me to use my gifts the most powerfully, and actually give my clients the more powerful result than if I was just trying to follow somebody else's model of, let's do a 6-week course. I'm going to, email you the training modules. You're going to watch the modules, and we'll jump on a call where we can't see each other, bi-weekly or whatever. That doesn't work for me. This community works well for me. This is how I like to serve. This is why I tell you guys to turn your cameras on, because when I see your face, I actually get messages to give to you. Right? It allows me to be able to answer your questions more thoroughly, because that's how the messages are given to me, right? That's how the guidance is given to me. So business model, your entire business model needs to support you and your zone of power. If you feel drained or feel like you're confused or you don't know what to do inside of your own business model, it's likely not the way you should be delivering your service. And that you're going to have to figure out. okay? Or get somebody to support you in doing it, because it's going to burn you out if you're not already burned out. Okay, so now I want to give you a couple of super secrets that's going to help with your cash flow, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A. First secret that has to kind of do with the business model. So here's the deal. There's an entire layer of money that you can't even see when it comes to most seven-figure entrepreneurs' businesses. And when you get on the inside and you talk to them, you realize it's not the surface stuff that you're looking at when you're looking at your competitors or stalking them. I know most of you guys are stalking them and trying to see what they're doing, and they're doing their launches and their live events and their JVs and affiliates and all of that stuff. You don't see where the real money is coming from. And here's what I want you to hear. Okay, there's a number of things you can do to increase your revenue that don't involve you working harder. And I promise you, they're not the things that you think of. Okay, but what I want to share with you today is just something that's the tip of the iceberg that can change everything for you if you learn how to do this. It's called front end and back end. Okay, your front end services. So for a lot of you, you work with people, and then when you're done with your 9 months, your 6 months, your intensive, your live event, your workshop, you're done. And then you're out, scuffling around trying to find the next client or the next group of clients to come through the program, because you think that's how it's done, because that's what you see on the outside. Here's what I want you to know. That's the front end. Every offer that you have, so your front end is a screening ground. It's a short-term way to work with people to actually see if they're a good fit for you to take it to the next level and work with them for an extended period of time. Whether it's 3 offers or 1 offer, you have a front end and you have a back end. People cannot jump to the back end. They must go through the front end. Most people think the front end is where people are building these $1 million businesses. It's not. You could not count my money if you tried. You'd be like, I don't understand how the math works out. Okay, let me tell you why. Every offer you have should lead to a back-end offer, whether it's a 6-month, 12-month mastermind, a 6-month, 12-month, 9-month agreement to work one-on-one, whatever that is, you have the programs in the back end. On the front end, those price points are usually, I'll start at $2,000, okay? They're usually from $2,000, because if you're charging less than $2,000, you know I ain't about that. All right, so they're usually from $2,000 to, let's say, $12,000. It could even be up to 15, but I'll just go 12, okay? Your front end offers will be that price point, okay? Once you get people into a front end offer, you should always have something built in, whether it's a session, a live event, an opportunity to talk to them if you want to invite them to the next level of working with you for a longer period of time. These offers typically start at about $25,000. I hear you thinking really loud. Like, oh my gosh, 25,000, who's gonna pay me that? Where am I gonna find those people at? Trust me, it's standard. 25 is standard on the low end for that. So people expect it, right? But that's the back end. So let's look at this and kind of do the math. And there's no slides for this, so you might want to write it down. So let's say you had 10 people in a front end group offer, right? Just gonna use group, even though most of you guys are at level 1, you're gonna be doing a lot of one-on-one work. But let's say you had 10 people in a group offer for, let's stay on the low end. So I'm gonna do 2,000, that's low. So you had a front end offer for 60 days, an 8-week program for $2,000, and there's 10 people in it, right? For that 60-day time period, you've brought in how much, guys? 20K, right? 20,000? 2,000 times 10? Okay. Then when you get towards the end of that, you're going to make an offer. And usually about 40% of those people will say yes to the offer, but let's even take it lower. Let's say 20%. So let's say 2 out of 10 are like, oh my gosh, we have to continue working together. And you show them like, here's the next level of what you have to do. Here's what we've done so far. Here's what's still missing. This is what it's going to take to get us there, right? You make them this offer for $25,000. 2 people take that offer for $25,000. How much is that? $50,000, right? So we've made $70,000 so far from one group of people who've gone in. Now imagine if you did that 3 to 4 times a year and only 2 people said yes to the offer. So you had 10 in. This is where the money is made. This is why you're looking at people and you're like, they make multiple 6 figures a year and you're trying to count their money and you don't know why. Back end and front end. So you want to make sure you have a back end offer and a front end offer so that when you're done working with people, it's not just one and done. And now you're trying to find more people, because usually on your back end offers, those people are going to stay with you for like 2 to 3 years. Depends on what your business is, but typically that's the way that it works. And that just simplified a business. So think about this. If you wanted to, you're like, okay, I want to hit 6 figures this year. We just did it with one group of 10 people. And even if you sucked at sales and only one person bought the $25,000 offer, right? Then on the next few times that you do it, that's just your numbers. One person will come, one person will come. You're going to hit your 6 figures. You're going to hit your 6 figures with your 10 people at 2,000. The problem is we don't have a plan, right? We don't have the model mapped out and we don't have the plan. So what happens is you're running, trying to get clients all the time. Your feet hit the ground and you're like, I got to get clients. I got to get clients. And you don't have the clarity. If you have this kind of clarity that, okay, I have a $2,000 offer. I'm going to run this offer 3 times a year. Every time I run it, I want 5 people in it, 10 people in it. That's all you're working for. This eliminates you feeling like you have to work 6 hours a week, 60 hours a week, because you're focused on the numbers, because you know the numbers are going to pan out. You guys with me? Simplify. So back end, front end. 3 other areas I want to give you guys: cash flow and payments. Okay. The coaching industry has completely skewed the perspectives of cash received and sales. So I struggled for quite some time with cash received and sales. I could have a $50,000 month technically with booked sales and only still have $5,000, receive $5,000 in cash in my bank account because of the way that I was collecting payments. And I'm going to explain it in a minute. And then I would pay all the bills and I would feel broke as a joke, even though I had a $50,000 revenue generating month. So let's say you sold 10 people a $5,000 program, right? That's $50K. But because of your money issues, remember at level 1, we're dealing with the money issues. You're like, payment plans are $500 a month for 10 months. And you even stretch the program out to 10 months or a year because that's all you have the capacity to do. At one point in time, my year-long program was $3,500. Yeah. And that was the truth of all I could hold. And then I think I moved a 6-month program to $3,500. It just kept staying in that space, right? So here I am collecting $500 a month in payments. So I felt like I was still struggling, and that money would eventually get to me, or sometimes people would drop off because it was such a long payment plan, all kinds of stuff. And so these are some of the things that you're finding. People are not fulfilling their financial obligations. So many things are happening to you, or you're making sales, but you're not collecting enough of the revenue. What you want to be focused on is the cash, not the booked. Okay. So one of the things that I did is I upped my payment plans. If it's a 2-month program, you got a 2-pay option. That's it. If it's a 3-month program, you got a 3-pay option. If it's a 9-month program, you might have a 6-pay option, right? Not a 9-pay option. So the longer the program, maybe the shorter the payment plans is. And that's on the front end. So I'm talking front end. On the back end, it's not necessarily the same, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. For a lot of you, this would fix your problem. If you stop telling yourself that people can't pay you $1,000 deposit, you would have more revenue coming in for you to work your business. And I'm not even going to get into putting percentages aside. Like, all the money you make in your business is not yours. So hopefully you guys know that. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I want you to look at the cash coming into your business so that you have enough money to actually deliver the service. On a $500 a month payment plan, depending on what kind of services you're offering people, and if you're buying gifts for your clients, whatever you're doing, you have to put together workbooks and print those things and all of that stuff. That money just ends up being gone. And so you always feel like you're on this feast and famine. You got to get the courage to ask for the right money that you need to ask for to deliver. So let's say I have a program that has an intensive in the front of it. I used to take $500 and still do the intensive. Now the deposit matches the cost of the intensive if they were to buy it separately. So if my intensive is $3,000, your deposit is $3,000. This way you're not disgruntled when something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I've already delivered you X amount of services and now you want to pull out? You've been in my program for 3 months and you're trying to stop? Right? I'm pretty sure some of you have had some of those experiences. Let me tell you what else happened when I went to this payment method. More people started paying in full. That's the first thing. The other thing that started happening is I started having less people dropping out of my program. People were way more committed and they started getting amazing, absolutely amazing freaking results. And then the last one is what I talked about on the live stream a couple of days ago, is you want to stop sending invoices for payment. No more invoicing people for payments, not on a monthly basis, not for the initial contract. Get a payment processor. Be able to collect payments right away, and any monthly payments need to automatically come out. Okay? So at level 1, we talked about PayPal being a processor, right? At level 1, you can't automatically process through PayPal, and people can stop their payments at any time. So you probably want to use Stripe. With Stripe, you just have to have a bank account for the money to go into it. That's one method. And you don't have to pay monthly. So they're kind of like PayPal in that there's a percentage taken out of the revenue that you generate for each transaction, but you can automatically bill and collect your money. That way, you know that you can count on, unless their credit card's absolutely not going to go through, revenue coming into your business, and you're not caught like, oh my gosh, they didn't pay, and you're chasing people down. Because even following up on payments energetically throws you off your game. Okay? So these are the things you want to do if you want to start making money in your business faster. The moment I got a payment processor and started automatically billing, I was no longer hitting the 15th of the month going, oh shoot, I'm low on money, because it was just coming like clockwork. And what it got me to realize is, because I am a sole proprietor, you know what I mean? I'm a business running the business myself. People felt like, oh, I could just put her off. Something else important came up. But when I didn't give them that option, and it wasn't like they were trying to be like mean or facetious or anything, but when that option wasn't given to them, I didn't have any issues with the payments showing up. They always showed up. So not doing that and having those instances of people not paying you also perpetuates your belief that people don't have the money to pay. Another self-fulfilling prophecy. So set it up a different way. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to open up for Q&A, and then I'm going to give you your assignment. Any questions? You guys are like, I got lots of questions. Raise your hand if you want me to unmute you, or you can type in chat. It's up to you. I think there's a button to raise your hand. I don't know which one it is. Oh, no, that's not it. They added some new stuff. No questions? You guys are all good. Okay. So here's the challenge that I want to give you for this month, for the next 30 days. I want you to look at your level of business And I want you to look at each of the 4 sections in that level. And I want you to pick one thing from each level. Now, in the beginning, you're going to be like, oh, I could do 2 or 3 because you guys are just overachievers like that. Don't do that. Pick one thing from each level for the next 30 days to make sure that you are implementing and have running like a well-oiled machine in your business. Just one for each level. For the next 30 days, focus on it and make sure that it happens. Habits is how you build the foundation. When it's repeatable, right, it becomes something that you do consistently, and consistency matters. Then the next 30 days, you can add, one more thing from each level. But for this 30 days, I want you to add one thing from each section in your level, and I want you to do it for 30 days. Implement it into your business. And I want you to report back how it's showing up. So come in the group and say, all right, I failed miserably today. I got on a sales call, said I was going to use the structure, and yeah, womp womp, didn't happen, right? Whatever, just share how trying to shift to having, powerful habits in your business that will help you, will bring you forward. Andrea, you'll have it. It'll be uploaded in Sales School. So you just have to go to Sales School and pull it up once Paula uploads the recording. Okay, you guys got that? So that's the challenge for the next 30 days. The group is there to support you through it. Go through each of the 4 sections, find your level, go through each section, and make sure that you're implementing one thing from each of those sections. Resist the urge to try to do 2 or 3 because you're like, that was easy. Let me do another one. It's about building the muscle and the habit. Okay, that's what I want you to do. All right, so here's the last thing I'm going to share with you. I'm going to just sweep one more time, make sure there's no questions. You guys know there's 3 ways to work with me, right? Sales School is one of the ways. If you're in the group, it's just something I decided to do. If you can catch it live, you're joining us for Sales School, but you won't have access to the resources. You won't have access to watch it as many times as you want to. That's available in Sales School. And what's in Sales School is all kinds of stuff. It's every training I've ever done, not just these types of trainings, but my 3-part courses where I'm teaching you how to do your own live events and how to sell from the stage at them, all of that stuff. So pretty much anything you would want to do in your business at this level, especially at level 1, Sales School is the place to start. It's definitely for people who are at level 1 in their business, giving you the foundational pieces that you need to master the skill set of selling and generating leads organically in your business. So that's Sales School. The second way that you can work with me is through one-on-one private intensives. Those are short bursts. If your packages, you're not sure why they're not selling, you need some help with your sales conversations themselves because you suck at them and you need somebody to help you with it, do some role playing. There's all kinds of things we can do in an intensive, but that's typically for some 2 things going on. One, you have a coach, right? But you just need my expertise. I would do an intensive with you because you can go back to your coach for the implementation. I don't like doing intensives for people who don't have support. The other thing is you want to do an intensive if you want a quick cash infusion as well, because you want to hire me. So an intensive is a great place to do that. I'll map out the strategy for you. You can hit the ground running with it. And then when you make your money, you come back. I've had several people do that. And then we put you in the program that you want to be in. So that's the second way to work with me. And the third way is in Play Big, which is basically the courage container that we create with women who are going on the same journey together, trying to sell their services at a higher price point and selling more of their services more often. So if any of those ways you're like, Shamika, I need to know more about how we can connect, what would be a good fit for me, message me. Messaging me is the easiest way to find out anything. I'm not going to send you to a link. I'm not going to send you to a page. You can ask me. I will answer. We'll talk back and forth. We'll figure it out. If there's something we can do, we will. If there's not, we won't. It's that easy. It's very simple. That's it. That's all. All right, guys. I'm looking one more time. I'm going to count down because I'm like totally shocked that no one has questions. No one has questions. Okay, Denise, I'm going to contact you. Okay. 1098-765-4322. 2, 1. All right, loves. I'm going to unmute you all so you can say bye. I hope this has been really powerful for you and kind of giving you a window as to where you might be keeping yourself stuck in your business. I promise you this works. I promise you it works. I promise you if you simplify and focus on the most simplest, like the answer is so simple. You're going to want to complicate it, but it's so simple. Everything can change like that. Just like that. All right, I'm unmuting. You guys say bye.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. Thank you.